Hey, Candle friends, welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, hi, I'm Ashley. I'm the owner of Mrs. Frizz Co, a small batch handcrafted candle company located in Ontario, Canada. On this channel, I talk about everything from making candles and like products to a behind the scenes look at owning your own small handcrafted brand. If that is something that interests you, I would love for you to hit subscribe and stick around. I'm filming somewhere different today, so if the lighting is terrible, I do apologize. I am in the middle of tearing apart where I typically film. I am organizing and cleaning things out. It is a lot and it is a disaster. So bear with me for my next few videos, which will be filmed from the comfort of my couch. Um, and that's actually kind of a good segue because today's video is about a work life balance. Owning your own small business is incredibly rewarding and can be so amazing, but the threat of burnout is always lingering. And today I want to talk to you guys about a couple things that I do to avoid that. Because if I'm burnt out, I'm not only no good to my business, but I am no good to the other obligations in my life. So let's get into it. So, the best tip that I can give you is do away with your to do list. To do lists for me personally are so overwhelming and so almost depressing. I look at them, I see so many tasks on them, and it's almost like I instantly know I'm not going to accomplish everything on this list. Definitely not by the time that I want everything done by. And it gives me a sense of honestly failure. I just feel like I've already failed and I haven't even started tackling the to do list yet. What has helped me combat this is working in time blocks. And that really makes even the most menial tasks feel like I really accomplished something, be it folding laundry, making some content, getting things done in a block that I have timed off for them is really just a great way to see what you've accomplished and track everything and know how long it takes you to do things and make you feel like it is possible to balance everything. So, this is going to look different for everybody, but I try and break my day down into blocks, and that is going to include making, marketing, um, emails, my kids. I break off time during my day specifically dedicated to my kids so that I'm not worrying about the business because it's got its own time and that's coming up later. I'm able to focus on the task at hand. And sometimes that's getting my kids ready in the morning and getting them lunches and getting them out the door. Sometimes that's jumping on the trampoline with them. So, like I said, this is going to be different for everybody. And you might think I'm crazy that I literally block off time for everything, but it really helps me balance and make sure that, like I said in the intro, I'm not letting this business take over my life because that is not an option for me. Um, so you don't have to do away with your to-do lists. You can keep them, but don't focus on getting everything done by a specific time. Just have that list. And when it's appropriate and you're working in a time block for, say, your small business, look at your small business to-do list, pick a task, start there, see what you get done. If you've given yourself 2 hours and it's, you know, an hour in and you're done, that first task, see if there's something else you can accomplish. You will feel like you got so much more done versus working off of a to-do list and trying to get as many check marks as you can. It's just not sustainable for me. Um, I would focus on a certain type of task so much more than looking at the big picture. When you're working in time blocks, you're able to look at the big picture, be it the big picture for your day or the big picture for your whole week. It makes getting all your tasks done way more manageable than just looking at a to-do list and trying to get as many check marks or cross offs as you can. And as crazy as it might sound, I block off time for my family and for resting. Um, because knowing that that time is dedicated specifically to them really allows you to not worry about the other things. I know that in a few hours, that's when I'm focusing on Mrs. Frizz Co. And that's when I will worry about those tasks. But for now, I can be in the moment and I can worry about nothing but spending time with my kids and creating those memories. That's so important to me. And maybe you don't have kids, but maybe you love hiking or you love working on your car or doing anything. You have a hobby. Most people have hobbies. And you should be able to enjoy those wholeheartedly without always worrying about your small business. So if you know that you have managed your time appropriately for the day or the week or the month, you know that you're going to be able to get things done that need to get done for your small business. And you are able to 100% be present when you are doing the things that are not business related and where you're really going to make those memories that are going to last forever. That's so important to me. And I think that should be important to everybody. The next tip I have is setting social media boundaries. And listen, when I first started, I didn't do this. I was on Instagram all the time. I was constantly refreshing things. I was always trying to, make my lists for different content that I wanted to make, different photos. I would spend hours taking pictures. Just, it was a lot. I spent a lot of time on it. And I mean, I've mentioned in other videos now that I don't think Instagram should be your be all end all for your marketing. Um, Definitely, you need an email list. You need to focus on that. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they're all great for getting products out there, but they're not necessarily going to drive the traffic to your product that you think they are. But either way, that's not what this is about. I don't have some big strategy when it comes to my social media. I post when I post, and I check in every once in a while, and that'll be if my kids are napping or if I'm laying in bed. I know they say that you shouldn't be on your phone when you're in bed, but that's what I do at night to unwind. I watch TikTok videos. But yeah, I mean, so I'll check in every once in a while, but I have learned now that my social media presence definitely does not define my business. And I don't need to spend the kind of time on it that I was spending initially when I didn't know all of this, right? So I mean, it used to be that I would post something and then I would be refreshing and seeing how many likes or if I was getting comments. Yeah, I don't do that anymore because I know that social media is definitely a way that I show people what I'm working on, but it is definitely not the income stream. It's definitely not like my main income stream. I don't sell content, I sell candles, and I needed to reevaluate where I was focusing my time. And when you start working in time blocks, you will start to realize that you spend way too much time on ABC when you should be focusing on XYZ. So it's a really interesting experiment just to kind of flop back into that time block thing. But I really do think it is the most beneficial. But block off your time and don't spend all your time on your phone worrying about what is happening in social media. Focus on things that are in front of you and tangible and actually going to help you get results. Bonus tip, you can also reuse your content across various social media platforms. So if you're somebody who, post TikToks, you can post them to Instagram, you can post them to Facebook. I have it set up so that when I post to Instagram, because that is really the only social media that I focus on heavily, that's where my customer is. And I post there and it'll automatically post to my Facebook page. Another thing that I've just started doing is taking that content, dumping it into TikTok. TikTok has this really cool thing where it'll just make a video for you. So that's what I've been doing. And it's giving me a presence there, but I'm not really spending any time. It's not taking any more time of my day to do that. My last tip, and honestly, this is the hardest one to get across to people and to actually get them to follow through with it, but you have to know when to pause. You have to know when to step back and to take a minute and to focus on other things. Again, this is going to be different for everybody. If you're somebody who is working 40 hours a week, your schedule is going to look a lot different than mine. You need to know when you are at the brink of being burnt out and too tired, and you don't ever want to get that close to it, right? So, For example, after I do a market, I take a few days. I really won't do anything for my business. I will spend time with my kids. I will spend time doing things around the house because typically those few days building up to the market, my time blocks are a lot more geared towards my small business because I have all these things to do for a show. When I get a little bit of time after it and I don't have an obligation immediately following, I'm going to unwind. I'm going to take a day off. I might do nothing, time block it. I literally will give myself a day off, and you should too, because your whole life cannot be working and working and working. So if you just own your small business, it cannot consume you. It cannot consume you for 100 hours a week. It's not sustainable. Okay. I know that maybe there will be weeks where you have to do that because you're trying to achieve a goal, get a project done, whatever. But that's not something you can do every week. There's some weeks where I don't test new scents, and there's some weeks where I don't post to social media, and that's okay because we are allowed to step back every once in a while. And again, I hate to be that person who just keeps tying it back to the first point, but time blocks are so important because if you do them, you will be able to guilt free take a couple days off. You see it in your schedule, and you know that you're still going to be able to accomplish everything else that you have lined up because it's already scheduled. So everything ties back to time blocks. But please make sure that if you are feeling overwhelmed, you step back for a minute and take a little time for yourself, because if you let yourself get burnt out, it is nearly impossible to get back into it and to continue to love what you do. And as a candle maker, we make candles normally because it's something that we love to do. I know for me, I love blending scents. I love seeing products come to fruition. I love creating special limited edition batches. I love picking that vessel that matches that scent. I love everything about it. But when I get to the point of burnout, I don't want to do anything. And I know that if I let myself go that one step further and actually find myself burnt out, I am not going to be able to get back into it with the excitement and ambition that I did before I was burnt out. So if you're getting tired, pause before it's too late. Well, that is all I have for you today. I hope you found some value in this video, and I hope you are able to implement these tips and give yourself a little bit of a less stressful, better work-life balance existence. I would love to know in the comments below, what are you doing to make it work? And if you did find this video helpful, it would be great if you would hit like and subscribe and come back next Friday for my next video. I will see you guys then. Have a great week. Bye, candle friends.